Hello, I'd like to show you Garden Cottage. She's a semi-soft cover. It's a little garden bench on the front, which reminds me of the one that my husband made for our garden. We have it over in the front so we can look at the sunset, about 6.5 wide, and we can see our vegetable garden from it too, and the blueberry patch by about 9. There are 2 signatures in this one. Gave me more room to play with the pages and helps it to lie flatter as well while you're using the pages. Bit chunky. And on the back, see the brushed cotton. Brushed denim actually, nice green color. And a forest green. Has a dangle spine that's removable. I'll show you up here. Hoping my stomach doesn't growl. It's almost lunch and I got up a little bit early. As soon as I opened my eyes, one of my cats was right there right away. Yeah, they're very helpful for helping you not to sleep in. So I was up before my alarm, but not a lot before my alarm, half an hour. I won't complain about that. Tea dyed ribbon. There's a nice satin finish to it. I often dye things with my noon tea. What I do is I make a little bit extra, still just using my normal amount of tea, and then with a little bit extra I dye something with it. And sometimes I just put some ribbon into a little cup and dye it. I love that old look. We have a vintage doily on the front, a picture from, I don't remember now which book that's from, but it's from book. Some dangles here, a large mother of pearl button, and this has been glued and sewn on. The roses, it goes with the roses in the picture. Got a wallpaper lining and a dresser scarf that creates a pocket on the front and the back, on the back inside, and it also helps strengthen the spine. The spine also has a piece of tea dyed cotton, I think it is, as well. Is a little mini rose book, tea dye paper, and decoupage some napkin onto old book page and put some tea dye paper on the back. A button and a dangle. Thought this button was interesting. Don't see them that shape very often down here. And I thought this postcard went perfect with this cottage. Yeah, I'm definitely a lover of cottages. That was what first drew my attention to the house we're in now. Of course, our house isn't a thatched roof, but it's a 40s house that was one of the original homes in this area. This property used to be a lot bigger. It was a little farm. Lots of flowers in it right now, just like in this book, lots of flowers. Some writing space here. And here. A little spot here for journaling. I did a little bit of hand sewing here. I really enjoyed myself. Took my time with this journal. Tea dyed stationery. I wanted it to have a real kind of cozy vibe, and I think I did that. I think it has a nice cozy cottage vibe and vintage vibe. This it's also got writing on the back. And a little Rolodex, tea dyed Rolodex card in there for extra journaling space. tea-dyed greeting card with some vintage rickrack sewn on. A little bookmark. I thought that suited it. It just goes like that. Use it anywhere. Ooh, and a lovely little cottage here. And this is a little snippet roll that I put on here. One of mine. Vintage button here. It's ultra paper clip. It holds on. A little mini journal. Some tea-dye pages in it. And this is silk. And I just put it over top this tea-dyed wrapping paper page. I thought this went nice with this picture and with the color of the paper clip. Stamping, thought went well with that. And this is from a calendar. Little tuck spot here, journaling card made from stationery. Butterflies from my butterfly book. Tea-dyed ledger. A little hidden journaling spot in here. Some tea-dye paper. And it creates a pocket, which I noticed this, that I've had forever, fits in perfectly. It's fun to look at this too. Not sure what year this is from, but it was old when I got it. Make a great bookmark too. This is from an old book. Interesting things to read. Here's an ultra paper clip here holding on tea-dyed paper, and then this opens up in here too. Tea-dyed paper from a magazine. And this ultra paper clip has a little dangle as well. Some stamping there. Page from an old embroidery book. I actually took a picture of this and the other side because it just makes me want to try it. This is from a vintage gardening book. Chrysanthemums. Here's an ultra paper clip with one of my favy buttons of all time. Only had 2 or 3 of those. A little mini journaling booklet. The button glued onto it. And center of the first signature. It's got 2 journaling cards and some tea-dyed paper there for writing. It's tucked in there. This journaling card has extra writing space and a little tag in there. And a little tag here too. Button and a button and some piping. I glued on the 2 here before I glued the pocket shut. From the vintage garden book. A little mini book here, tea-dyed paper. Kate Greenaway illustration. Some fussy cut birds from a vintage bird book that I have. And a piece of silk to make a little tab. And that's also from that old, I think it's a 40s or 50 something book. And I made a writing spot on it because I'm not crazy about horoscopes. I covered that up. This is tea-dyed Rolodex. Flower Power, stamp that. This is vintage paper here, so this pocket isn't meant for like something really heavy duty. Just a note. Made a flip out of a greeting card and tea-dyed it, and made a little journal card out of another greeting card. And I love it when the dyes run from the different things that I'm tea-dyeing. I love all the green on this page. This here was a greeting card as well. I tea-dyed it and added a flip and a pocket here for a tag, and then turned the whole thing into a pocket as well to make room for this big journaling card. It's handmade paper, I believe. The stamping on here, and then on this side made a little flip so you can see both sides of the pictures. This is from a really sweet little bird book I recently got, paperback one, and I made this. I stamped a butterfly on there. This is silk fabric here, put a button that matches, and made some extra journaling space. Tag for journaling, and a tag for journaling, and some stamping. On this side I've got a fussy cut bird from a bird book, and some fabric, and some paper doily, some crochet trim, and a vintage button. Journaling card made from old book page, some tea-dyed paper on the back, and decoupaged napkin onto the front. Journaling space, and this is from a small, almost I guess a booklet. It's not a book, about canning. Brings back memories for me, and I have jars like this that were my grandmother's. This was fun. I got this idea. I was on my exercise bike and I was watching a flip through of a journal, someone else's journal, and then they didn't have this in their journal, but something in their journal, I know they were showing a paper ruffle, and I went, oh, if I use my long adding machine paper, I could make a ruffle that's actually 5 little tuck spots. So that's what I did. A bunch of journal cards. So yeah, as soon as I got off that bike, or not bike, it's step machine, I did that. And I was pretty pleased with myself. I want to make some more of those. And I also made a tuck spot here. G for gardens. A little bit of sparkle on there. Really old hymnal page. 1913, it says copyright, so I guess that's the year of it. From a vintage mushroom book. And I just love the sound of this, but I also like how you can stamp on one side and you can see it on the other. And this is vintage trim here. This is from a vintage book that I read to my kids when we were homeschooling. It's a nature book. I love the illustrations in it. Little tag I made. A button on it too. And on this side, made a journal card. And this is a postcard, Hemsley Wall Garden. Love the colors in this. This go well together. The green, the lime green, and the kind of burgundy rose. Our wisteria in our garden just finished blooming. It was really covered in flowers this year. Pruned it well last year. It's always a good time to prune wisteria, they say. It really grows like crazy. This is a tuck spot here. And inside I put some paper for journaling. The reason I made this into a tuck spot is this page here with the lovely butterfly illustrations. This is vintage and it was fragile, so I thought, I think what I'll have to do is I glued here and here so that it's safe now. Because on the back, well, I guess you can peek if you want to see the butterfly names. Yeah, you can see all the butterfly names because they're numbered. Perfect. And on this side was blank, so we lose that space, but we can write on this space. And on this side I put a tea-dyed index card for journaling. I didn't want to risk this coming apart. Little journal card that I made. And this is from the greeting card. It's got a butterfly on it. Little daisies. This postcard here, it's vintage, but I think it might actually be antique. It's really old. Lovely. Little button there. And this one here is vintage. Not as old, I think, as the other one. St. Augustine, Florida. It says oldest city in the USA. I thought it suited this book. This is sweet. Homemade birdhouse, and it shows on the back how to make it. Here's another page that I stamped on. You can see it from both sides. Mushroom. And another page from this one says copyright 1905. So I guess it applies to the song. Not sure what year the book is from, but it was pretty old, falling apart. And I love the feel of this old paper. And I made this from a vintage card from Regal in Canada. Little dangle goes with the blue on here, and it goes with the blue on this side. Made this journal card, some William Morris paper, tea-dyed on the back. Oh yeah, I added some tea-dyed paper on the back. A little poem from a Waverly novel. And here's some recipes too, pickle recipes that went with that canning book. This side we have a flip made from a greeting card that's been tea-dyed, and I used some tea-dyed cotton to make it nice and strong there and flexible. And here we've got a flip with journal card in here. And a little booklet here made with tea-dye paper, and this was dyed with grapes. Yeah, we don't have that grapevine anymore unless it's gonna survive my second attack on it, because I like the other grapevine, but this did make nice colors. Some writing space here. And on this side we've got another little mini journal. And this one includes tea-dye paper and some inspirational pages. And a little page from the vintage Wildflower book held in place with a vintage paperclip. And I tea-dyed this using, looks like I used paper doily for that one. Looking forward to doing some more of that once I can dry things out on my balcony, my patio. This is from a notebook. I tea-dyed that as well. Love the colors. And there's a fussy cut from my nature book. Vintage button, some crochet trim, paper doily. There's another one of those oval buttons like I have at the front of the journal. Little envelope I made, and inside is some cards, some playing cards, Bible verses, little Esther card, one of the years from the Bible, some of my little faith stickers to be added wherever. That'd be fun to have some things to play with. And a little Bible verse card. God is a refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Here's my first I think wedding shower. My friend gave me a plaque that had that on that. So she's pretty hefty, but there's still room to add things as well. Because I know I make my own as well, pretty hefty, and then I end up sticking things in, cards, especially handmade cards that family members give me. Oh my goodness, the last one that my grandson gave me is just adorable. And I also like to put things like someone gets me a plant or some flowers and there's a tag, I put that in it too. So there's room for that. I hope you're enjoying late spring too. Those flowers of ours have lasted really well because we've had a lot of rain, but now we're going to head into a sunny spell, which is why I wanted to get this done before lunch, because otherwise the light comes shining in on here and makes it hard for the camera. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying spring, family, crafting, maybe journaling, whatever your hobbies are, gardening. My garden is calling my name out. I did go out and tie the peas up because they were starting to get tall, and I don't want to wait till they're flopping over because, oh, that's too late. Yeah. Blessings on your garden if you have one, and on your hobbies. Take care. Bye.